Downtown Iowa City, home to the students of the University of Iowa, currently ranked number 6 in the country's top party schools according to the Princeton Review. But is that all that's really to it?
And then it became, you could go down to Joe's most any time and someone would join you or someone would eventually walk through the door and it just became part of your extended family. What was it? It was a saying, you have your family that you're born into and a family that you choose. Yeah, so this is the family that we chose.
The Friday Afternoon Club is a group of over hundreds of University of Iowa alumni, most who are part of the Hawkeye Marching Band, spanning from the 1970s to 90s.
It's a place where, yeah, you celebrated the good things. You had a breakup with a girlfriend. They were there to help you drown your sorrows. So yeah, it was the focal point for us.
And they still get together at least once a year for homecoming, the 4th of July, or to enjoy a Friday afternoon at Joe's place.
I'm like, yeah, I get it. You like Joe's, we all like Joe's. But for people, it holds a very special place to them. And so there's so many people that just had those really amazing experiences, and that's why this place continues.
Joe's was calm. It had more of a quiet atmosphere to it. It was a place that you would come to even for lunch, have a beer with lunch, and then study the rest of the afternoon.
And this group, nor is Joe's Place the only location you can find this.
I've been coming here for a long time, and it's pretty much the same.
Downtown Iowa City has a lot of deep history, especially revolving around drinking culture. Lots has changed, but a lot has also stayed the same.
There are bars that have been here for many decades. There are bars that maybe only last a decade or so, and there's always some stories to tell and remember whens.
In a young downtown scene, there's so much more than what first comes to mind. The history of the older establishments in Iowa City continue to live on, regardless of the trends.
Well, it's different from the other bars on purpose. It doesn't want to be like...
Certainly, there has been a legacy of an aversion to having a rowdy, disrespectful crowd of people in here.
It's more of a place to come and catch up with your friends and see what's going on than it is to go out and party and dance and stuff.
But it's not just the buildings either. It's the people who seek out the community, who want to find the spaces to sit down and enjoy a beer, but also to enjoy a conversation and escape everything and everywhere else.
So while maybe the faces change and the products that are sold there are changing, I think the reason people come to George's is still the same, and it's to have conversation.
This builds relationships that continue inside and outside the bar.
But the older that we've gotten, this is the group that we get together with consistently in the summer and at homecoming.
Bars like these rely on those regulars. For the community, yes, but also because their businesses depend on them.
Yes, I call these people right here and these guys over here my bread and butter customers. They're the ones who actually pay the bills. Anybody else, they're like the cake, and anybody else that comes in is the frosting. Yes.
There are some fears around the future of some of these older establishments, but for right now, they're focused on the present.
I mean, Foxhead has had its eras. Right now it's a bunch of young people working here. And we all have our crowd, our friends.
While many of these locations seem to draw older crowds, people of all ages, over 21 of course, are invited into these spaces to start those connections.
And I think that I can speak for a lot of people that regularly come to Joe's Places. It's sort of everybody's bar. It's everybody's. It's very welcoming of any demographic, any age, anything.
Whether Iowa City is a home for 4 years or the rest of someone's life, these stories continue on forever.
Always lots of stories. I always wish that I would have written things down because some of the stories I just don't remember, but there was a lot of funny things that happened.
I lived on East Burlington Street, 700 block of East Burlington, and it's 11 below zero, and there's an Iowa basketball game on, and I don't feel like watching it in my crappy apartment, so I walked to Joe's knowing absolutely convinced that other people would be here in 11 below weather. I wouldn't have.
You knew well enough
People
to
I
want
knew
to
were going to be here. Yeah. And I would rather walk in 11 below weather than sit at home.
And if you came in here on Friday, tomorrow about noon, it's absolute chaos in here because the people are trying to come in, people are trying to leave, and everybody's standing right there because that's where they pay their bill.
Iowa City is constantly changing, growing, evolving.
Maybe we're not like the top party school anymore, but I think that with that, there came a lot of other better benefits because of it too.
But the roots and the history are stronger.
People that come here don't want it to change too. Like it's not changing because Dave doesn't want it to change. And we kind of want it to change, but only in good ways, you know? But there's a reason to. There's a lot of people who want it to stay the same.
And some things may never change.
And even walking up here today, I was trying to think about what this means. And it was always the place, Joe's was always the place you could go on Friday afternoon and run into someone you knew. Period. And that was what was so fun about it.
Cheers.